Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter tomorrow during Colorado's spring game, a decision that has caused backlash, and Coach Prime addressed that yesterday.
Let's get the elephant out the room. I don't want to talk about this too long. I'm going to just talk briefly and let it go. We're talking about Shedeur. We ain't talking about nobody else. But his last name wasn't Sanders, we wouldn't have this discussion.
Stephen A., do you think that's fair, what Deion just said there, that if his last name wasn't Sanders, this wouldn't even be a discussion about retiring his jersey, Shedeur's?
No, it wasn't fair. Not in this equation. I do think it's fair when we talk about this criticism that has been thrown Shedeur's way as an NFL prospect by evaluators out there, some of the things that they were saying about him. I think that's more about his dad than about Shedeur. But overall, first of all, Shedeur's fantastic. And I personally believe that he's going to have an illustrious NFL career. I believe in the brother, no doubt. And the trajectory that him and Travis Hunter and others have turned that, have enforced that program, they deserve a lot of credit for it. But at the end of the day, in 2 years at Colorado, his record is 13-12. It was a 5-game improvement, went from 4-8 last year to 9-4 this past season, okay? And that doesn't usually garner retired jerseys. That's just a fact. And so it's rare that I think that Deion Sanders is wrong in terms of how, his perspective on what he thinks other people are thinking, because he's usually spot on. That's my brother. I got nothing but love for him. And I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be special. But overall, you just look at the record and, you look at him and what he's accomplished and whatever, and you give credit where credit is due. But a retired jersey, Travis Hunter's a Heisman Trophy winner. So you look at him, what he's brought to the program, of course. And, of course, Shedeur has brought great things. But 13-12 is 13-12 as the starting quarterback for the university. And it's just, it does seem, and it's early, too, because this is a spring game. He's just getting ready to get in the draft. I mean, this isn't years later. It's now.
And I agree with that.
It's kind of strange.
That last point you just said is just so early. Like, typically when your jersey's being retired, like, you have to come back on campus for a ceremony and you're these two guys are still on campus. Like, they haven't even left and moved on to their next destination yet. So I look at what Prime said and, like, yeah, what he's saying is true, where if his name wasn't Sanders, we wouldn't be having this discussion because we wouldn't be talking about these two guys having their jerseys retired this soon. Like, hey, I get it. Colorado is trying to capitalize on a moment right here and encapsulate it because this is the way we're talking about this program since the Deion Sanders experience has been. And that brought over Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. But at the same time, like, they've had 2 first-round picks in the NFL draft before. They've had a Heisman Trophy winner before. They've had these things accomplished, and still jerseys weren't retired before the guys moved on. So I think that's the biggest issue with this, is it's way too soon. You can debate all you want, whether you feel like Shedeur should get his jersey retired.
Mike T., I want you to jump in, but what you said is so spot on. If his last name wasn't Sanders, we would not be talking about this because it wouldn't be getting retired right now. You're 100% right.
Right, but here's what I see it differently, guys, from a standpoint of, like, it's been transformational what those 3 people have done, Deion, Shedeur, and Travis Hunter. Like, they took a program that was moribund, really the worst of the worst.
Gosh.
And now it's a program that is on the upswing. It's a historic turnaround. The only thing I would add...
Hold on, Mike T. This isn't an impact award.
No, but it is a legacy award. It is a legacy. Like, they have absolutely...
Isn't it about what you've done on the football? You know better than I do, you guys do, but isn't that what this is about?
Yeah, but I think in college football, it's also about the impact you've had on the program. The only thing I would add to it, Molly, is this. Like, take a guy like a Cordell Stewart and add him to the class to say, like, we're going to, induct, into the Colorado Hall of Fame, Shedeur, Travis, and Cordell Stewart, because there are other former Buffaloes that are also deserved.
The Hall of Fame is different in Jersey.
Because if they were seriously considering taking him at number 3, I don't know why they would be working out other quarterbacks at this late date. Meeting with him makes sense to me. Meeting with Milroe and Shuck suggests to me that they are looking into options later in the draft.
Completely agree. And again, the timing is odd. Most teams have done this several weeks ago because right now you're refining your strategy. You're looking at other things, medical security, last-minute things. So, again, I give them credit for being thorough, but the timing is odd.
With that, how you have the number 3 pick? It's assumed Cam Ward's gone 1. let's say Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, one of those guys will be at 3. How soon would you already know what you're doing with the 3rd pick? Like at this point, would you know, hey, we're going Shedeur, we're going Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter?
Absolutely. Your board is
Now
set.
you would know that?
Absolutely.
You would know that 6 days before.
Yeah, 2 weeks before your board's finalized.
I think they do. And I think, they're working out quarterbacks that they think they might have a chance to get later on. They have the 2nd pick of the 2nd round. This is a group that might all be there at that point, including Shedeur Sanders. Or you might be able to trade into the back end of the 1st round and get one of them. If they start coming off the board, if all of a sudden a surprise run happens, Cleveland goes up and get one, oh, we may need to move up now or else we're going to miss all of them. So I think that's where they are. But I'd be shocked if they took quarterback at 3. I think they're very happy with the idea of taking whichever of Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter is there.
So you pointed out Artie and Canarsie had strong fans on the Jets. What does he think of the Giants taking Shedeur Sanders at 3?
Well, I think for Sanders, what you have to understand is this is a guy that's not going to be exposed in the bright lights in New York City. It's not going to overwhelm him.
Right.
I think there's a comfort with this. The concern is the concern that everybody has. And a lot of people in New York wonder about Deion Sanders and how much he will hover over the Giants or hurl things from Colorado when he doesn't like what he sees about opportunity and everything else. But if anybody's fit to play for the Giants, it's Shedeur Sanders. He's had bad offensive lines running for his life. That's the life of a Giants quarterback.
Here's the question that I have. Again, you are a long-standing member of the New York media. If Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback and the season is going badly, is the conversation on the talk shows, is Deion the next coach?
Oh, I don't think so. No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
That does not become the conversation.
No, I don't think that is. I think there'll be people that'll speculate that, but
Right.
I don't think that's something that a lot of fans would want because you got to get stability with this organization. They haven't had it.
So I'm talking about. You think that
I know what you're
Brian
saying.
Daboll survives a bad season here?
No, I don't think.
I don't
one of
either.
them
So
survive
you're
it.
looking into who the next coach is.
Yes.
And if Shedeur is there,
I get what you're saying. Would he be somebody that would be brought up as a
Yes.
candidate, especially if Shedeur is under center and playing?
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course that would be a conversation. I don't think people would want that though. I don't think there's anybody in New York as far as fan base or anybody else that would want that. Media, yes, because he would be a quote machine.
It doesn't mean the specter of it wouldn't hang over Brian Daboll in the front office. I mean, like that might be something that they would be concerned about in that.
There's no way John Mara would do that.
And it doesn't matter for Brian Daboll and Joe Shane if they're not winning games, whether it's Deion Sanders' names being mentioned or the next hot offensive
Could be Colonel
coordinator.
Sanders. It doesn't
could
matter.
be anybody. The result is the same. Your family is moving, so you don't really care which name is being answered. If you're drafting Shedeur Sanders, your hope is that he's going to be the guy that keeps your job.
Do you consider Shedeur Sanders' background, his upbringing, the fact, I like it. I like the fact that his father was a pro athlete, that this will not be the first time in his life he has money, that all those kinds of things that you have to learn on the fly. Most NFL rookies have to learn on the fly. He won't have to. I consider it a positive. How would you look at it when you're drafting a player?
Agree, and especially in this market where everything is times 10. When it's good, it's times 10. When it's bad, it's times 10. So the fact that, again, that he's been around it his whole life, I think that's a real positive. Again, the only grade that you give him of incomplete, Greeny, is what happens when there's adversity relative to the locker room when he's never had to deal with that. All he's known is success. So to me, whether that's New York or someplace else, that's something that you're trying to figure out.
All right, I have to pause on that thought here. We have much more to do on it.
Mũ đội đầu đơn giản cho búp bê nhé. Nguyên liệu của mình cần có chính là len. Mình sẽ sử dụng hai màu sắc như này để làm cho mọi người. Màu hồng và màu xanh nha. Sẽ kết hợp lại với nhau để tạo ra một chiếc mũ thật xinh nhé. Mọi người chuẩn bị cho mình kim móc len này. Kéo này. Rồi giờ mình sẽ bắt tay vào làm. Đầu tiên mình dùng cái phần len xanh đi.